Hello everyone, my name is Yuri Kasdorp and we are here with a special edition of the track guides. We're here, as you can see, in Daytona prototype. And we're at Daytona. That can only mean one thing, Daytona 24 is coming up. Long race coming up, the first big special event of the year. I think it's the biggest special event in iRacing. It's a lot of fun to do. If you have time, if you can find teammates for this, I would always recommend anyone to drive this. Lots of splits, so there's competition for everyone. Important to survive the race. Lots of traffic. There's 3 different classes: the Daytona prototypes, the LMP2s, and the GT3s. The prototype, important that you avoid the slower classes, and in the GT3s, it's important that you avoid the faster ones crashing into you or making mistakes. On top of that, though, pace is always important. It's how you can make up that bit of time that you lose, or lose that bit of time towards the opponents that force you to take more risk. So about the pace, let's have a look how one fast lap without traffic looks like. Right, here we are, end of lap, starting our lap, and this time we're in a much quicker car than I'm normally used to. The Porsche 963 GTP. And these cars are very quick, they have a lot of downforce, which means you want to be keeping the minimum apex speed in corners high. Because the faster you go with downforce, the more grip you have. Turn 1, coming from the outside, we want to be driving a very round line through the corner. A very round line, keep the minimum apex speed high. Same for turn 2. Careful for that lockup on the inside. Very easy to get a lockup there. Want to be braking quite far to the outside here. And then we run it in quite deep here. Feels weird if you use the GT3s. But this way we keep the apex speed high, which means that we're running fast through the corner, and if we're running fast through the corner, we automatically have a good exit speed as well. And that's because we're running high downforce car. Bus stop, we'll look at the 1 and then keep it tight in the bus stop, keeping our speed high. And focus on a good exit. And then with that good exit, we carry that speed all the way to start finish. And that's the lap in the Daytona prototypes. Blink and you miss it. Right, so here we are, end the lap, start the new lap. Coming in at full speed. We want to be running close to the outside wall here. And unlike the GT3s, it doesn't matter that much that we're braking in a straight line. We just want to keep the minimum speed as high as we can. So we're braking quite far to the outside here. I'm braking just when I hit this line on the track. I'm using that as a reference. But we don't need to brake as much in a straight line. We just brake to the outside here. And then coming from the outside, we want to be running over this white line. You can even run over it a bit more. We want to be aiming for the tire barrier on the inside. So coming from here, we want to be aiming for the tire barrier on the inside. And then because the track, it kind of slopes up to the middle here, to the corner of the track, the first bit will always understeer a bit. So if you aim for the tire barrier, because this first bit understeer, you'll miss it and then hit the nice apex right after these tires here, which is what we want to do. Again, if you miss this a bit, the track on the outside here slopes down, so you're going to lose a lot of performance through the corner. And again, because we're running a high downforce car, we want to be running the corners as round as we possibly can to keep that speed up through the corner and then slowly build it up again on the exit. Now we're going to be coming up to turn 2. You want to be running as close to the left side as you can here. When you start braking, you want to be parallel to the white line. I'm braking here quite early because it's really easy to lock up the right front in this car, I found. The moment you start turning in a bit, you need to immediately release off the brakes, otherwise that right front is going to lock up quite big time. So braking in a straight line, and the moment you start turning, you reduce that brake, get to the inside, get the car in a straight line, come out of the corner. And the next two corners are going to really see a big difference, I think, in the lines between GT3s and GT Pros. And GT3s, you want to be going from the outside here and brake as much in the straight line as you can. And the GT Pro, so the prototype, I like to brake to this point here. So not to the middle of the track, but to the point on the outside. So we're all the way on the outside of the black line here. And then from here, we're going to start to turn in and keep, again, that apex speed as high as we can. And just run a smooth line through the whole corner. And then what for me feels the strangest, because we have a big exit out of the corner, is that we don't sacrifice entry speed here. If we would sacrifice entry speed to try to line the car up for the exit here, we would lose too much downforce in the middle of the corner. So what we do instead is turn in quite early and just send it. So we're going into the corner here. We don't try to square anything up, and we just let it run wide and let the car run all the way in a smooth line around the corner. And we're even sometimes hitting this outside curb here on the exit. That's how deep we're going. And you'll see all the GT3s, you have to be careful. GT3s will try to square up the corner and have the car rotated by this point to be facing towards the inside. In GT Pros, we're going to go all the way deep and get that rotation all the way throughout the corner, which will be quite tricky, I think, for the traffic sometimes. It will be useful here, if you can send it to the inside, to just send it with authority on GT3s or maybe even LMP2s, but LMP2s have a similar strategy than the GT Pros. On the GT3s especially, just send it down quite deep and get past them before the apex so that they can set up the exit here, and then you can just go deep, keep that speed up and send it all the way to the outside here, get past that GT3 so you don't have to wait when they do this squaring up here on the entry. If you're stuck behind the GT3 here when they're squaring it up, we're going so slow that we lose all of that downforce on the car, we lose all of the performance. And then for the exit, I'm going to throttle quite early because we have that downforce. We're running a bit higher apex speed. We immediately have the downforce. That means we have a bit more grip, even though we don't have the car squared up. And then we get to the bus stop, and the bus stop is quite insane in this car. We want to be running as close to the wall here. I'm braking just before the one. From 7th gear, I go down to 5th gear, and I keep it tight. So on the first corner here, you want to be running close to the grass. Tiny bit of the brake here on direction change, so you don't want to be braking while you're turning. So the moment the car goes a bit straight here, I tap the brake a tiny bit. Then we start turning again, we release that brake, and you want to keep it tight. You don't want to go too wide here in the middle. You see a lot of the tire tracks on the track go wide. You want to keep it tight here, otherwise you're going to understeer too much for the exit. If you run too wide in the middle, that means you went into the corner too fast. You have to reduce your entry speed a tiny bit. So you want to keep it tight, get the car rotated, and you want to be aiming to hit this wide curb on the inside here. If you're missing this wide curb, you're running too deep in the middle of the track. And if you can't be full throttle before this, again, you went in too fast into the bus stop. You have to be full throttle before you hit this wide curb. And if you get this line right, the middle of the car is on the right side of this line here. Careful, because it extends all the way to this point here, not to the end of the curb. It extends all the way as an imaginary line to the grass here, which means that, as you can see, I'm already turning left a bit to straighten the car up. If you do that too early, you're gonna get an off track. And we have to be looking with the middle of the car, needs to be on the right side of this point here. So careful, sometimes it will feel like you're easily gonna make it without an off track. You try to straighten the car up a tiny bit too early, and you get the off track still. So that's the off track there. And then once you do this bus stop right, you shouldn't only gain a bit of time in the bus stop, but with a good exit, you're gonna gain up to a 10th, maybe even more, depending on how you took it before, from the bus stop back to start finish line, which as you can see is very, very long straight here, which is of course where I hope all of you watching are going to hit all of the traffic when you're driving this. Let's get back to the outro. So there we go. Lap guide complete for anyone that dares to drive the fastest car, which I want good luck. Lots of fun to drive this class. I think all of them are pretty competitive with the current Bob. If you want to watch more videos like this, I think next week I will be back with the GT3 Spin series. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all there.